Everybody, welcome back to WikiGood Sports. This is At the Buzzer, and we're joined, as always, by Jack Tiernan. Jack, how you doing?
Ryan, we're feeling okay after a 2-2 series tie, but overall pretty good.
Yeah, so obviously, last time we talked, it was tied 1-1. Then Game 3 happened, and the Celtics were behind the 8 ball immediately, came back, almost won.
Yeah,
At least made it a game. I think, they were within 1 point
yeah.
at a certain point. And then last night they just blew the doors off of the Heat straight up. So take me through Game 3 from your point of view first, and then we'll talk about
Sure.
Game 4.
It was a little bit of a narrative switch. For me, I think it really personifies both teams. Whereas Celtics had a very strong second half in Game 3, but they sucked out of the gates. Pretty much did what the Heat did at a less bad level offensively. Um, and lots of turnovers in Game 3.
Yes.
That like from the Celtics. That was the nail in the coffin, right?
Mhm.
We saw it towards the end of the game when they finally stormed back. We saw Jaylen Brown look like, I think I said he had like sunfish for hands. Like he wasn't playing so hot. He and Tatum had, I think it was 13 combined turnovers, and Tatum had more turnovers than field goals,
Yeah.
which is not good. That's not good.
Not winning
You're
basketball.
not going to win. Yeah, exactly. That will do it. So I mean, we beat ourselves in Game 3, and I think, to be honest with you, I think the Heat beat themselves in Game 4. Um, I think,
Yeah, I mean, they missed their first 10 field goals.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
you can't you
They
can't
had
win that way.
1 point with, I think it was like just under 5 minutes remaining in the first, and I'm like, that's really bad. That is more than
Yeah.
half a quarter.
Yeah, no, it got to be 18-1 at one point in that game.
Yeah,
Pretty bad start, but
not good.
yeah, no. So Game 3, I saw a stat that in the two losses, the Celtics have turned the ball over 40 times. Yikes!
Oof.
And then the two wins, they've turned it over, I think, 18 times. So I mean, that's the difference, right? Like,
Yeah, easy.
and
Protect the
so
ball.
yeah, which seems like something that they can adjust to. But hey, we'll see. Game 3, obviously, like I did think there was an opportunity for the Celtics to steal it, despite how bad they
Yeah,
played, but they just couldn't do it. And then Game 4 gave me a little bit of confidence. I mean, this is such a back and forth series, just like the
yeah. Holy
Milwaukee
shit.
series. Like, just like who knows what's going to happen each night. I certainly didn't expect what happened last night to happen.
No.
So obviously, Smart was injured for Game 4. We got Derek White playing great to start off
Excellent.
that game. Let's talk a little bit about him. What'd you see there?
I've been a Derek White supporter since we
New
got him,
dad,
basically.
congrats, Derek.
Yes, congrats, Derek, to your son Hendricks. He's getting to watch you ball out,
Same.
especially in Game 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if he can see, but we're gonna say he can. And he watched you put up the first 7 points really quick. You hit a
Yeah.
three, which you don't do normally, so thank you. And did not do the second half of the game, but we can blow that away.
Right.
And I thought he was a good ball handler. I think I've said this in a couple of different instances, but he really is a decent ball handler. He's a pest on defense, and he can drive to the basket. And when he drives, he's a really good. Like he is like an automatic teardrop shot. Like from within 10 feet, he's almost guaranteed to get a bucket. Or he's gonna kick it out and get you an open look for three. So because you have to have guys on him in the paint. Um, so I love Derek White. I thought he did an excellent job filling in for Smart. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't say start him over Smart, but I think
No,
it would be
right.
really interesting, like if that's what we ended up having. Like if somebody else goes down, maybe don't start Grant and have Grant still run with the second off or the second unit and let kind of push everybody up. So that starting lineup would be Smart, White, Brown, Tatum, Horford in that order. But I think really interesting. Um,
No, that's good. And I'll be honest, like near the beginning of the game, he had an alley oop to Tatum, and I
oh
was
yeah,
literally like, okay, Celtics are winning this game.
yeah,
I think it was
yeah.
literally like their ninth point of the night, but I was just like, nope, this is
Same.
it. Like, they got this. Um,
There was that alley oop. There was the Tatum, the White to Tatum alley oop, and then there was the Horford to Rob alley oop. Which that one, I think that was the ninth point too that I
yeah.
just fucking loved.
No, all right, so hey, that's a perfect transition because I want to talk about Rob. He is a huge difference maker on defense. When the
Yes.
Celtics
Oh my
have him,
God.
they're great. Let's talk. Tell me what you see from him.
Even in limited minutes last night, I think he just goes to show when you have two big guys out there like Horford who can stretch the floor and Rob who is just an absolute menace shot blocker in the paint.
Yep.
He's going to get in your way. He's going to block your shot. He's going to be annoying because you can't drive to the basket. And that's what the Miami Heat team does really well, especially with Jimmy Butler. And if you can stymie Jimmy Butler and like PJ Tucker for the most part, who, by the way, the Heat starters put up 18 points last night. That's gross.
Brutal. That's
That is
so brutal.
gross.
Yeah.
You like Victor Oladipo outscored their entire starting lineup, and he played
good.
great.
Yeah,
He played great.
good.
He was hitting those threes in the first quarter. I'm like, honestly, like this, I'm not convinced this is over yet because if he single-handedly was like making them still relevant in that first quarter. They scored 11 points in the first quarter, which is the lowest. Yeah, not good, not good. But I digress anyway. Yeah, I think you're right. Robert Williams, honestly, like if he even just starts the game and is a little bit annoying to start, we can pull him, give him some rest him up for knock on wood, hopefully the finals. But might be getting ahead of myself.
Yeah,
I think
let's get
yeah.
through this series.
Right. Yeah, but I'll leave it at that. I love having Rob back. I've been a big Rob stan since we drafted him, and I'm glad now that he's getting his second all defensive team honors. So fun to watch him play. So explosive.
No, I agree. He was great last night. And something I wanted to talk to you about. So obviously, the Heat had Hero out, and we had Smart out. So this series has been one game, then day off, then one game. It's going to be the same. There's a game tomorrow. We're recording this on the off day on Tuesday. I feel like this. I've heard that it's truncated like this due to the play-in tournament and then them still wanting the finals to be in June. Normally, it would be like a game, rest, like another game, then like an extra rest.
Yeah.
How is this like affecting the teams going, like, especially in the Eastern Conference? It just seems to be like both the Heat and Celtics, who are both defensive teams and play very physically, are just so banged up right now. Like, what are your thoughts on this kind of new like setup with the play-in and how it affects the health?
Glad you asked that. I didn't even consider that, and I did think the first thing I thought of when we were looking at, like, let's compare this and the Brooklyn series, for example, right? The Brooklyn series, there were like 4 days in between two of the games, right? Which was wild. That's a lot of time.
Milwaukee too. We had like a Tuesday and a Saturday game,
and I was like, that's great for our guys, especially Al, because Al he performed very well, and he's performed very well in Miami too. Don't get me wrong, but I think obviously the older players you have, the more important it is for them to get fresher legs. I think the younger guys, obviously not like you're gonna get gassed if you're playing against the best team in the league, hypothetically, potentially at this point. Not back to back nights, but every other day, right? That's a lot of running. That's 45 minutes of being on the court. I honestly don't love how condensed it is. I think from a viewing perspective, it's great, but you look at the injury reports for Miami and Boston. Smart's banged up. Rob's banged up. I think Grant, Tatum, both banged up for the most part.
Jimmy Butler missed time.
Jimmy Butler, Bam, PJ Tucker, Tyler Hero obviously is out. And Kyle Lowry, right? Like a lot of to be honest with you, more of their guys are impacted by just getting banged up for a couple reasons. One, because that's how they've played. That's how they play. They're bruisers. But they're also older. All of those guys on the Miami team that I mentioned are older. Ironically, our oldest guy in Al Horford has been fine. Like he hasn't been hurt. It's kind of some of the guys who are nursing some injuries that they've had, since the end of the season. But for those guys, it's just like PJ Tucker is an old buck. No pun intended. He literally was a buck. But like Jimmy Butler isn't getting any younger. Kyle Lowry, same thing. Like I think it's taking more of a toll on them because there's like a 10-year age difference between PJ Tucker and like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. So they're going to bounce back from that stuff just naturally. It's how bodies work. I think it's again, from a viewing perspective, I understand why they're doing this. I think you do put at risk the health of some of the older players, particularly, but all of the players, when you try to do this and jam pack these games like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we'll see. I don't love it. I think I would like to play the Heat with all their best players. I mean, if the Celtics
Me too.
beat the Heat, I would like it to be like, oh, they beat them straight up, and I'm sure Heat fans feel the same way. Like they'd much rather beat the Celtics straight up with all the players. So it kind of sucks, and it's very unfortunate too for both of these teams
Yeah.
because the Warriors are probably gonna sweep the Mavericks.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens tonight. But I just don't have any faith in the Mavericks to win
Me either.
after watching those 3 games. So, yeah, they're going to be rested for the finals versus whoever comes out of Miami and Boston are going to be all bruised up.
For sure. And I think that's a good thing to keep an eye on, too, right? I think I wonder what the NBA is going to do if this series goes 7 games, which, I mean, at this point, it certainly seems like it's going to.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know, man. I think it's really... I think they need to give whatever team comes out of this 3 days at least, please. Like, I think you're gonna get a really bad product, just from like an objective standpoint, right? Like, you're gonna get a bad product if you have one team coming out of the East that gets beat by the old plus Jordan Poole Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that, and then I'll definitely want to keep an eye on it going forward in like the next seasons. Are we gonna see like players just resting at the end of the year more than normal? Like, it makes sense, right? Like, load management is about to become a huge thing, I feel.
Yeah, and it already was too. Like, Kawhi was kind of the trendsetter for
he's
that, right?
The guy who started it all.
Kawhi is the load management dude. Him and Kyrie both. But I think, you think about those star players, and do you have anything to play for at the end of the season? Like, if you're the Miami Heat, the East kind of did, because there was kind of a logjam all around, right? But like, when you're the Phoenix Suns and you're up by a lot on the second place team, it's like, why bother at this point? Can't I just coast? Like, let's pull Steph, or like let Steph play like 15 minutes a game, like to start, and then pull him and let, I don't know, what's his face, Gary Payton too gets some playing time, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree. I think load management will be even more prevalent than it was in years past with this.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. All right, Jack, anything else you want to touch on before we get on out of here?
I want to just restate my confidence in the Celtics. This might be crazy, I'm sticking with Celtics in 6. I don't think I'm going beyond that. I think what I have seen from the Celtics in the games that we've won and the games that we've lost overall is better than what I've seen from the Heat.
I agree.
I feel good with that.
Yeah, I try to balance being a homer and like being objective. And there is something to say. I'm sure Heat fans are so fucking sick of hearing this, but like, the Celtics have outplayed the Heat in most of the quarters.
Yes. I agree, but you're right.
That counts for something, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, all that really matters is the final score. And the quarters that they haven't won, they got their asses beat. So...
Yeah, that's the difference for the Celtics, right? Like, you can't hold it together for that entire time, and that's what sucks.
Yeah.
I think.
We just had to mention the quarters thing, just because I've seen it.
Of course.
Fucking everywhere. The last
Helps
few
validate
days.
us.
Yeah.
We need it, because we're in trouble otherwise.
Right. All right, Jack, where can they find you online?
Best place to find me is on Twitter, and that's at Jack_Tiernan. You can follow me there. I have a lot of thoughts, obviously, on the NBA playoffs, particularly the Celtics Heat series.
Yeah.
You can also follow me on Instagram, and that's at Jack Disc Golfs for disc golf content. Posting a lot more there. Once I'm back up in Massachusetts, again, I'm going to keep pushing for this Wicked Good Sports disc golf session. But yeah, follow me there. Definitely help content up there.
Alright, so follow him there. Follow me on Twitter at TheFakeBMar. This BMARR channel is on Twitter at WickedGoodSport and WG Everything. Instagram, Wicked Good Everything. Twitch at twitch.tv/WickedGoodEverything. And on TikTok, search Wicked Good Sports. Search Wicked Good Everything. Jack, thank you so much for your time.
Of course, Brian. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you all in the next one.